Jersey. They'll be facing Thomas Matisse from Cleveland, Ohio, who's got Montana Love in his corner. A former fixture here on DAZN. He's got back-to-back losses. Maybe we'll see him back soon. But right now, we're set for 10 rounds between Ford and the neon green and Matisse in the shiny gold.
Now, Matisse is a bit of a slow starter, or has been historically. He also was used to fighting off the back foot when he fought Rocky Hernandez in his last time out. But when you get to these middle rounds, that's where Thomas Matisse seems to get going.
Yeah, Matisse is going to want to pop that jab right now because he can have 4 inches in height and reach.
Look at this. Ray Ford already has Matisse in a little bit of trouble.
And this is a new Ray Ford I'm talking about. He's on the front foot now. I mean, for a long time he was on the back foot boxing. Now, once he starts landing that right hook, he slings it. He attacks opponents and looks for the knockout.
Yeah, that hook, both hands, is money punch. He's got the power to knock you out and knock you down with both his left and his right.
50% knockout ratio for Savage Ford, 8 KOs in his 16 wins.
And he's an aggressive puncher now, man. And as soon as Matisse threw a jab out there, a lazy jab, Ford came back with a wicked 1-2. Just like that. I mean, that's lightning quick right there. That intimidates older fighters. 34-year-old men, that intimidates guys like that.
You know, one thing that Ford told us that he learned from the Kolmatov fight was that he has a good chin. You know, before that, he'd be a little bit, not nervous, but he would try to defend his chin as much as possible. He's much more willing since that fight to be the aggressor, eat one shot so he can deliver two of his own.
And that's what happens when you're such a stud in the amateurs. You know, you're not accustomed to getting hit, so the smaller gloves, you don't want to intentionally get hit, but when you happen to get cracked, then you say, okay, it wasn't that bad, I know what to expect now.
Again, Matisse looks a little shell-shocked in there. Maybe he's not prepared for the speed and power that Ford possesses.
I don't think he really believed that Raymond Ford was going to come in and try to be the aggressor. He believed that because he was the physically bigger man, that we'd see a more tentative Raymond Ford. We have not seen that at this point.
Speed intimidates anybody. Youth intimidates an older fighter. Movement, defense, that's the things that intimidate older countries.
Yeah. Matisse trying to laugh this stuff off, but man, he's getting clocked.
He's not laughing it off, he's embarrassed. I mean, right now he's just getting outgunned.
Well, you know, it's funny because Ray Savage Ford has a soft spot in his heart for the Gunner Man. He said, look, I like the Gunner Man, but he's going to be outgunned. And sorry it has to be him that I make an example of it. So far, he is true to his word. Another smile from Matisse. He wants to be Mr. New Jersey. He's fighting for the second time here in Atlantic City.
10 seconds.
Sorry, his first time in Atlantic City, second time in New Jersey for Matisse.
Side.
So true. It can pierce the veil between life and death.
Yes, I lied to you. I don't believe in magic, ghosts, demons, just power.
Who ain't gonna kill every last one of you?
Sinners in Cinemas April 18.
Everything comes around the guard. Someone that's pulling back like that with the hands down. It's easy work for a guy with that quick hands like Ray Ford. And notice how he comes in with, instead of the 1-2, he alternates. It makes it even more confusing. Comes in with a 2-1 from that left-handed stance. Just unique combinations from Raymond Ford, and Matisse doesn't know where the punches are coming from.
The former featherweight champion with a brilliant round 1, where Matisse looked comprehensively outgunned. So now you wonder, Sergio, is Matisse going to kind of shrink back into survival mode?
Well, he's going to either lose a one-sided fight in survival mode, or he's going to run into something big if he doesn't get the respect and start opening up. Matisse needs to let go of that jab with some heat intention. Try to get some kind of initiation established, because if you're really bad, just going to keep getting popped by the faster hands.
I love the punch variance of Ray Ford in this fight. Matisse is standing there and he's wary of the power, but he's also really uncertain about where Ray Ford's going to go. He's just likely to throw a combination to the body as he has come back upstairs.
Yep, that's exactly it. And once Once Ford starts stabbing you downstairs to the body with jabs, it even confuses fighters a lot more because he's trying to block that, and then that's when he comes around the guard with the hooks. The thing about Ford is, if he slows down and becomes a little bit more patient, I know it sounds like the opposite of what he's doing, but slowing down the pace is how you run into guys with the power.
Meaning his opponent will run into his power.
Right. Right. You see a lot of amateurs, especially with a long amateur pedigree, they're really fast. Everything's speed, and you hear it all the time. I gotta slow down. I gotta be patient. Punch placement. That's more important than speed.
Nice straight left from Ford again as Matisse backed up against the ropes. Made a couple shots. Well, timing beats speed, Sergio. How good is Matisse's timing?
Pretty good, actually, and he's had some good right hands now. I love the fact that he's throwing the right hand in 3 different places. He's throwing it to the face, to the chest, and to the body. So now Ford's the one having to think.
Matisse pounding his chest. He's sticking his chin in the air. And look at this, he's going for a free ride.
I wouldn't step my chin in the air too long against Raymond Ford. He has great speed on these shots.
And he has great speed and instinct, but I like the right hands that Matisse is throwing. He's throwing it with confidence, coming forward. It was a good run for Matisse. Even though he might not be winning, but it's a good run. This shows confidence in the fact that he's not just, giving in to the speed of Ford and the power, the newfound power of Ford.
Chris, I'll allow you to retort it.
Look, he's better in the first round, but I do think Raymond Ford's speed and accuracy continues to be the difference in this fight.
Along with the high guard there, Matisse is trying to weather the storm.
10 seconds.
He's got those long arms, Sergio. He can almost cover up his entire upper torso as Ray Ford lands another left hand.
Yeah, but right there, Matisse on the check.
Time.
He may not have won him.
Round 3 between New Jersey's own Ray Savage Ford and Cleveland, Ohio's Thomas Matisse. Ford was a bad boy growing up. He'll tell you all about it. Expelled from a variety of schools for fighting, resulting in his attending a private school. After one such expulsion, his mother brought him to a boxing gym, and from age 12 onward, he decided to turn his life over to the sweet science, and I'd say it's worked out pretty well.
I like the advice in the corner of Raymond Ford to just keep an eye out for that right hand of Matisse. That is his primary weapon. He landed that a lot in the middle rounds of his fight against Rocky Hernandez.
And they also said step it up in this next round. So they didn't like the fact that he was trying to, regress a little bit in that last round. So they wanted him to step it up and watch out for those right hands. And that's what Matisse needs to do. He needs to alternate his height, and he actually needs to start looking to shots to the body. You may get the jabs. You make yourself smaller. You're the guy with you have 2 inches in height. You have a longer fighter. Give a different look to Ford. Don't make it so easy for him to pop that jab, punching up. Have him punch down as well.
Chris, if Ray Ford wins this fight, it looks good doing it. How close is he to a title shot?
That could be his next fight. Sugar Nunez, who is a matchroom fighter, he's going over to Japan to fight for the vacant IBF belt. If he can win that fight, I think we'll see Ray Ford against Sugar Nunez before the end of the year.
That would be a good one.
Yes, they will. They love that fight.
That's right-handed. It looked like Matisse almost went down.
That's a beautiful shot. That's a fight. That's a combination they threw earlier in the first round. Like I said, it's not a 1-2, it's a 2-1 from that southpaw step. So the power jab comes from the back.
Good body shots a moment ago there from Ray Ford.
And it's interesting, Ford is landing some of these combinations when he's not set. He's always running forward to throw those punches.
But because Matisse is just having his earmuff defense up, so it's easy to hit the gloves. See that? Look, when the gloves are just up like that,
There's nowhere to hit him.
be content hitting those gloves.
Ford looking for an opening. He wants Matisse to throw punches so he can counter and catch him. Just missing with the right hook.
Oh, good shot. Straight left hand, man. Matisse can take a punch.
You saw Matisse answer with a straight right hand, not a ton behind it, but he does have opening, Sergio, if he can cash in.
There is openings, and like he told us, Matisse says, I'm a natural 130-pounder. I fought for bigger fighters. I'm stronger, I'm bigger. I'm not one of these small guys, especially that can walk back.
10 seconds.
You know, Thomas Matisse said. And the thing that made me laugh, though, Matisse said is, man, look, Ford's walking down these smaller Mexicans. Have him walking down.
Time. Round 4 after this.
But he was never in any jeopardy of losing the last couple of fights.
Not at all. Yeah, he controlled the second half of the fight. The first time that he fought Chubazan, it was a one-sided fight. He won every single round. Second time, the reason he got that criticism, and it was valid criticism, he got hit too much. You can't be getting hit too much by guys that are on the championship level or nowhere near that. That's why it was much deserved. But the pride of a champion won't allow that.
Downstairs goes Ray Ford as Matisse seems to be a little more aggressive here at the start of the fourth. He's got to change something up.
Yeah, Matisse needs to start looking for a left hook. You know, Ford sometimes drops that lead right hand, you know, because he's so fast. See, there it is. He pops that jab and kind of rolls it back. So if Matisse could just punch with him with a left hook, he might be able to catch Ford jumping in. See, just like that.
The right hand to finish off that combination. Matisse looking for a way out of there.
Yeah, it was a 2-1-2 from Ford, but he drops that lead right hand. If Matisse can punch with him with a left hook and check him, things can maybe swing in his favor.
Ray Ford has sparred with Shakur Stevenson, trained alongside former IBF super featherweight King Tevin Farmer. He's been in there with the best.
Yeah, these body shots are having an impact on the teams. You can see him wincing a little bit. I brought that up with him this week because Rocky Hernandez also went down to the body pretty early enough. And so whatever it is that trainers are seeing on film, you're seeing a lot of body shots headed in the direction of Matisse.
Matisse just holding those gloves up, protecting his body as Ford just kind of peppers away.
And Ford really putting power behind those hooks, you know, coming around the guard. But he's neglecting the body though. But I think he's trying to soften up Matisse upstairs just to catch him one good shot like that. He's trying to go for a home run shot downstairs.
We've already seen 2 body shot knockout wins tonight. Can we see a third here?
Wow, love that shot. See, there it is again. And the trunks are really high on Thomas Matisse, so I'm glad the referee is not warning Ford for that shot right there.
See, Matisse has dropped those hands.
Yep, and that's going to open up an overhand left, just like Ford tried right now. The only thing I don't like from Ford is that he's leaving his feet when he throws those shots. That's a no-no in boxing. You're leaving your feet, you're susceptible because you're in mid.
John
You
Suckins.
get hit with a counter hook and then push back. Off balance.
Good right hand from Matisse, but it's just been too few and far between. Ford dominating this fight.
Time.
Some water spilled in the corner of Thomas Matisse, who asked Ray Ford basically, yeah, I want you to come at me, take the fight to me. You know, Ford's pretty much done that, Chris.
Yeah, I think this has been an outstanding performance for Ray Ford so far. He's put pressure when he's needed to. His accuracy has been on point. I mean, he looks like a full-fledged, strong 130-pounder.
Gone are the days of Ray Ford being tentative in the ring and safety first. He is going right after Matisse as we look at Chris Mannix's scorecard.
Yeah, I've got it 4 rounds to none. Pretty easy fight to score up until this point. Raymond Ford, upstairs, downstairs, he has been terrific. Even when he's pressured in situations like this, he's still finding ways to counter. 4 rounds to none in favor of Ray Ford.
Beautiful combinations, man. Not forgetting the body. That's what I love seeing about these young former champions, young prospects. Look, shots like that, beautiful punches, and then coming around the guard. Every punch that certainly a punishment that he's laying out is just beautiful to watch. All I want to see now from Ford is get an angle. Try to flank your opponent, get an angle, use that southpaw stance, and then you can catch him from a different position. Other than that, beautiful performance.
I saw earlier Ford kind of squatted down through a perfect uppercut to split the guard. I wonder if he's going to go back to that punch again.
See, like right there, you should get an angle. Kind of like a Lomachenko, like Usyk, you know, they throw 2-3 punches and then get an angle and start to attack again from there.
I think you're right, Sergio, but I think it is a little nitpicky because right now he's been dominant.
But look, I'm here to point out all the great things and some of the things that he just needs to work on, but it's still great watching this up close.
Are we going to see a lot of those angles from Stanionis in the main event against Boots?
No, he's different. He's not a fast-foot fighter. He's a flat-footed fighter. He pulls a lot of combinations. He does get angles, but not in the way that we see certain athletic southpaws like Ray Ford.
Under a minute to go here in round 5. Thomas Matisse really hasn't landed a big punch of consequence as Ford has landed several, including that one.
He's so quick with these hooks around the guard. Can throw it with the right, the lead hand, come around with the backhand. It really is a sharp weapon.
He just looks like such a more confident fighter, Ray Ford.
That's what happens when you win a world championship, man. You just elevate your game, your confidence, your belief in yourself, your training. Everything changes. You're not a up-and-comer anymore. You're a former champion now.
He's changed so much as a fighter in all the years we've
John
been
Suckins.
I think we said time. We've been calling almost all of his fights. And the end was Eddie Vacquez we fought back in Arizona.
Time.
He's such a different fighter.
to, and that right hook is at the lead of it.
Round 6 scheduled for 10. It seems like the only question now is will Ray Ford get the stoppage or will it go the distance?
Chances are it goes the distance. Matisse hasn't been stopped. I mean, he came prepared, he came confident. He knows he's the bigger fighter. He has a good chin. Nice pop in his right hand.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on Matisse just yet. He is a second-half fighter. He does have real power in that right hand.
The only thing that I might question is that left hand. He's had left hand injury problems. So in order for him to land that left hook, he has to be confident in throwing that left hand.
Getting a little impatient here.
See, in situations like this, Matisse does have Ford against the ropes from the corner. He's got his hands, but he can't allow Ray Ford, who's the quicker fighter, to escape and do stuff like that.
Yeah, but you can't get past that lead left hand of Ford. Notice how the fighting position for that lead jab.
Clash of heads.
They're kind of pawing at each other. Like, who's going to have the upper hand? Like, literally, who's going to have their hand on top of the other man's hand jab? That's going to be the vulnerable guy.
So there's always the foot fighting between a southpaw and orthodox. You're saying there's also a sort of a jab fighting as well.
Yeah, you'll see it when they're pairing each other's gloves, especially when Ford gets around the corner, near the corner. And notice how Ford paws the lead right hand, and it's Matisse's job to get under it or come over the top with the front jab.
Right there from Ford. I think he's taking some of those boos from the crowd personally. He's like, what else do you want me to do?
And this is a kid that just won Fight of the Year last year, man. Give him a break. He can box, he can fight, but you can stretch your career a lot longer and become a two-time champion doing what he's doing like this.
Oh, look, he's also not a knockout puncher. I mean, having a 50% knockout ratio is not what some of the great knockout punchers have. He had that great comeback knockout against Kolmatov, but most of his bigger wins, they've included knockdowns, but they have gone to decision. He's a stronger version of the fighter we saw win the 126-pound title, but I don't think he's yet developed into a knockout puncher.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that finish to Otavet Kolmatov, that was in March of last year. Ford with a knockout win with 7 seconds left in the bout.
In a fight that he was losing.
Yeah. He won the vacant WBA featherweight title. What a way to do it.
10 seconds. Time.
To Lithuania.
I don't think they have a non-stop flight from Atlantic City to Lithuania.
What they do from JFK.
Do they?
Yeah. At least he said he did. Take the man at his word.
Yeah, he said his dream come true would be to win the titles tonight, unify, head to the airport, land in Lithuania, go to the hospital, and his wife goes right into labor. We're in round 7, scheduled for 10. It has been the Ray Savage Ford show. Hasn't really lost, I don't think, a minute of any round.
And it's not because Matisse is not trying. You know, Gunman's trying to find a way in. He started off pretty good in that first round before it extinguished any kind of momentum that was going in the favor of Matisse.
Well, if you're looking for a glimmer of hope for Thomas Matisse, back in April 2023, he did beat Ramirez Cessna in the final round. getting a stoppage with just seconds left in that bout, so maybe he's going to bring back the nostalgia tonight and do something dramatic late.
He has beaten some good opponents, Christian Tapia on that list as well, but Raymond Ford's on a different level right now. This is a young man, former champion, now at 130 pounds, really coming into his own. I mean, I don't want to get too hyperbolic here, but this is a guy that looks like he has pound-for-pound talent. If he keeps developing, I might see him on the pound-for-pound rankings in the years to come.
Hyperbolic?
That's right. They may be too...
I don't know what that means, but look, I do believe that he has pound-for-pound talent. You give me hypertension damage to that. Such a vocabulary.
Sergio can talk his way out of anything. He's the best.
I think uppercut is opening up for Ford now. See, that's the thing when you're getting too much confidence going your way, false confidence from Matisse. He's coming up short with that right hand. He doesn't have the legs anymore, and he could fall into a left hook. Ford should concentrate on landing a left hook while Matisse is coming in, because the legs aren't under him anymore as he brought in the first half of the fight.
Sorry, Sergio. I think the problem with Matisse's right and its effectiveness is kind of telegraphed a little bit. It's really sort of pitter-patter jab and then let the right hand go. Raymond Ford is seeing it coming every time.
See that? Look, that's the punch I'm talking about. Falling off balance, doing the right hand, came up short. Uppercuts are going to be a key here. Uppercuts are body shots, of course. Something that comes from the bottom up.
Ford's face looks like he just got out of the shower, not a mark on him.
10 seconds.
Some swelling on the left eye of Thomas Matisse. He continues to talk and taunt, but hasn't been able to back it up with his fist.
Time.
Raymond Ford up on the stool with about 15 seconds to go during that break, and he's waving over at Thomas Matisse to get up off his stool.
Yeah, I've been there before. I love that. That's when the confidence is through the roof, the energy, the adrenaline, the strength. You know that you have someone in front of you that doesn't stand a chance, and yeah, man, getting up and letting them know who's the boss of that ring. It's a great feeling.
We're live at Boardwalk Hall here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Some fantastic fights over the years have taken place. Anything involving Arturo Gatti, of course, 2 of his fights against Mickey Ward. We're here. Sergio, what's your favorite Atlantic City fight?
1989 fight of the year. Manos de Piedra. Roberto Duran winning the 4th title in the 4th division against Iran Barkley. Man, that's one of my all-time favorite fights here in Atlantic City.
I've been to so many good fights down here over the last 20 years. Bernard Hopkins against Kelly Pavlik, Sergio Martinez against Paul Williams, Andre Ward against Carl Froch. There have been some phenomenal fights here at AC.
You know that I signed a fight against Kelly Pavlik, and because I was supposed to be here in Atlantic City.
Look at the totals, by the way. 376 punches thrown for Ford, only 95 for Matisse. My personal favorite, George Foreman and Vander Holyfield. All those great fights here in Atlantic City. It's kind of tapered off recently. Nice to be back. And, you know, Eddie Hearn has been saying to anybody that listen, our main event tonight could be the fight of the year between Ennis and Stanionis.
I believe it has the potential. I mean, this is an arena that has hosted greatness, man, and there's something in the air. So, 2 undefeated champions, I can see that happening.
It's fun to watch here as we go back to Raymond Ford. he's had to move a lot, and he's had to throw a lot of punches, but he doesn't look tired at all. Like, he still looks like he could go another 8 rounds if he had to. And I think that's, another part of being up at 130 pounds, not having to squeeze down to 126. I mean, it's just made a huge difference with Raymond Ford.
Matisse pounding his chest, kind of saying, come on, Ray, but Ray's right there. He says, what else you can do?
And notice how he's not getting frustrated by just touching the gloves or punching the gloves of Matisse. This is something that we're going to have to see in the main event against Stanionis. We're going to have to see Boots Ennis be content hitting gloves, hitting shoulders, not getting clean shots, and not getting discouraged doing that. Ford is in control, and he's still confident because he's content and happy just hitting those gloves and winning these rounds.
Oh boy, that left hand almost connected.
10 seconds.
There's the uppercut. Yeah, you're right. Ray Ford looks so fresh right now. Looking at round 2.
Vibe.
By greater northern manpower, rather than by the righteousness of the cause of the North, Longstreet became one of the narratives of deliverance. A man whose failures as a commander had cost the Confederacy the victory. Longstreet, well aware that he was the scapegoat, was shocked that his fellow Southerners so quickly turned on him. In his mind, the blood and carnage of war was not worth resistance to the law. By the 1870s, Longstreet had become fully involved in the Louisiana Republican Party and had been appointed as a major general of the state militia, which included both black and white troops. By 1872, Longstreet was known as a radical Republican, an identity that won him new allies in the South. After assuming command of the New Orleans Metropolitan Police Force, a largely black force, he successfully put down Louisiana Democrat efforts to overturn the election in favor of their
Something on the chin.
Well, a sense of urgency for sure right now for Matisse. As we look at Chris Mannix's scorecard.
Yeah, I've got it a shutout. 80-72, 8 rounds to none in favor of Ray Ford. The output, the accuracy, just the ring generalship. Raymond Ford has controlled this fight from start to finish. Even when he faces pressure just like this, he will skirt away usually and land combinations. So 8 rounds to none in favor of Ray Ford.
Hey, a couple right hands here for Matisse.
Yeah, but he's not following up with the left hand. It's just a straight shot to the right hand. You gotta come around with hooks now. See, just like that. Hook to the body. If you're Matisse, straight right hands upstairs, hook to the left to the body. Then start your combination and you pressure from there.
I think Matisse just said, I love it to Ford. I don't know what he loves.
He loves something. He's cheering himself.
Whatever gets you going, I guess. But he's down 8 rounds to none.
That false bravado doesn't get to champions, and Ford has never done that.
Which fighter talked the most trash to you, Murray?
I can't remember right. Vernon Forrest.
Really?
Yeah, the big Vernon Forrest. He had a lot to say leading up to that fight, inside the ring, outside the ring.
For those who don't know, Vernon Forrest, the fighter that Sergio beat for the world title and then lost it back to him 3 months later.
Yeah, there's like 3 conversations going on. One between Raymond Ford, one Thomas Matisse, one between Raymond Ford and the corner of Thomas Matisse. Montana Love in the corner of Thomas Matisse. So Raymond Ford going at it with everybody right now.
Well, Ford is pitching a shutout, so he can say whatever he wants. As for Matisse, not sure what he can brag about. The crowd's had about enough of it, too.
Ten seconds. Now rounds before we go judges scorecards time.
Earlier this week, Eddie Hearn turned to Ray Savage Ford and said, "This fight isn't going to be easy, is it?" And Ford answered, "It might be. Let's see." And so far, Sergio, he's made it look easy.
That's what happens when you have that much talent and confidence.
And Montana Love's right in the corner of Batiste. When he lets that right hand go, he has had a measure of success, but he's not followed up on it. And he's allowing Ray Ford to dictate the pace of this fight, to control the output of this fight, just every aspect.
Well, it's now or never for Thomas Batiste. He started out his career 13-0. Since then, 9 wins, 4 losses, and a draw. He's headed to his 5th loss, unless something outrageous takes place in the last 2 minutes and change. From nearby Philadelphia, taking on Mantas Stanionis from Lithuania. 3 belts on the line.
Yeah, Ford doesn't have no respect for Matisse. He's not even flinching anytime Matisse feints, attempts to punch, tries to get something started. Ford is just cool and calm, ready to counter.
Matisse isn't running at this point, but he seems very much to be more survival mode than winning. He's got to know he's down on the scorecards and isn't let his hands go like a guy that wants to win a fight would probably do.
No, he resigned from this fight. I don't think he has anything left to give or to offer. I mean, Randy Ford has had an answer for every single thing that Matisse tried to get started.
Matisse, a 3-time Ohio State Golden Gloves champion. That was a long time ago. He's 34 years old now. It might be the end of the line as far as having significant fights and opponents going forward. As for Ford, it's hard to criticize a guy that looks like he's going to win all 10 rounds. Matisse. 20 seconds to go.
Now, I think this is a excellent showcase for Randy Ford as he targets that next world title fight. The next guy in front of him, most likely, will be Sugar Nunez, who has a lot of power and is a very aggressive fighter. That will be the boxer versus the puncher if that fight materializes.
Judges scorecards time.
Ford will be ready for that. I mean, he just went the distance here, got some rounds in, won every single round, didn't get hurt, didn't get bloody, didn't get cut. He's going to be ready for Sugar Nunez.
Ford will be ready for Nunez, but Matisse was not ready for Ford in any sense of the word. Ford dominant. In fact, Ford's first round was his best round, and that sort of put Matisse on the back foot, made him rethink his strategy, and he just never got his motor going.
Yeah, that was his best round, and like I said in the beginning of the round, he probably didn't win it, but it was a good round. But this could easily be another shutout. I mean, we've seen Ray Ford shut out opponents, and aside from getting a knockout, that's just as impressive.
We're headed back to Saudi, this time for Canelo Alvarez, who takes on William Skull for the Undisputed Super Middleweight Championship. This is the first time Canelo's ever fought professionally outside of North America. He'll be in Riyadh May 3rd. That fight available to buy soon on DAZN. Continental North American belt, Sergio. Does that mean anything to Ray Ford?
Now that he's won the real championship, I would say no. You know, he's always going to carry himself as a legitimate champion. He won the main one, so anything else is just going to be secondary.
Well, David Diamante has the numbers. Let's find out if Ray Savage Ford did indeed win all 10 rounds.
Take away David.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds here at Boardwalk Hall, we go to the judges' score totals, and they read as follows. Lynn Carter, John McKay, and John Signorelli all scored the bout identically, 100-90 for your winner by unanimous decision, and still the WBC North American Super Featherweight Champion, Raymond Savage Ford.
Sergio, he made it look like a